Hi guys, welcome to Algo Clan. In this video, I'm going to fetch coin data from coinmarketcap.com and display them in our Android app. And we're going to use Retrofit for server communication and Dagger for dependency injection. And we will use MVVM architecture. Uh, First I'll show you where we get the data from. So from like if you go to the CoinMarketCap's developer documentation, you will find this. So we will use their APIs to fetch the data. So before this video, I created an account there to get the key to fetch the data. So now I will show you how to how the data looks like once fetched. So I'm going to use this app called Postman, where you can run a HTTP query and display the data. So here is the query, and then here is the auth token. This I'll change after this video, so I'll copy this. So this is the auth token, and then these are the header fields that we need to send. And in response, it's a GET request, get HTTP request. So in this as a response, we'll get this data. Like we get like the data looks like that. It'll have a status and the data as a array, so that each data item will have the name and the its value in USD, those details. So we will get this data and then we will show it in our app. So this data comes in JSON format. So first we will so to show this data in our app, we need to convert this JSON into our Kotlin objects. So for that, I'm going to use, so we have to somehow get the Kotlin objects. For that, there is a, you can search for um, JSON to Kotlin data classes, and there is a website called json to kotlin.com. So you just copy paste that whatever the HTTP response that you get uh, into that into their website. I mean, the copy paste taking longer time, so I've already downloaded those data classes. Like once you copy paste there and you press generate, it will generate the data classes for the, I mean, their corresponding data classes as per the JSON request. So so I've already downloaded and placed those uh, data files here. Okay, and now let's copy these. I mean, first let's create an Android project, empty Android project. I've just created one, uh, and I have created uh, two packages, repo and UI. So UI will have all the UI related stuff, and then repo will have all the data related stuff. Um, so in repo, I'll create one more package called retrofit, and then in retrofit I'll paste these Kotlin data classes. So these, they don't worry about these data classes, like these are just uh, Kotlin representation of the JSON. uh, Here in these data, so we will use these data classes to parse the uh, JSON data into the Kotlin data. So this is the base response. So each response has a status, as we've seen earlier in the Postman. So each response has a status and then data objects. So the data, if you go to the data, it will have all these fields. So we don't have the serialized name imported. Let's import that. It's part of the retrofit. I mean, those those are part of these retrofit Gradle dependencies. So you just import. Okay, so yeah, now that the data classes are ready, we will try to create the retrofit. We will now create the retrofit app, retrofit API. We'll now create the retrofit API. So for that, so within the retrofit, I'll first declare we like, if you know retrofit, so we just if you know that earlier, it'll be easy. Otherwise, just follow it, and then we'll have another video where I'll explain how to create the retrofit in detail. So first, to create a first we have to use the retrofit. First, we need to create an interface. So I'll call this coin API. I'll call that interface coin API. In that coin API, I'll create a function. I'll declare a function called get coin data. Let's say get coin data, which returns it'll just return the base response as a call object. So it'll be a retrofit call object. So so we have to see what kind of request it is, and then so what parameters we have to use, we have to give it here. So here we are going to use this. Here we have to give the path. So let's see if this works. We'll give it as it is. So we are passing all the arguments directly. So once we have this in place, next we will create the repo class, which is okay. Let's create a new package. I want to create the package within repo, not under retrofit. So let's create a new class itself, new Kotlin class. The class name would be, so before that I will create a, so it's not allowing me to create a class directly under repo, so I will manually create a package there. So I'll call this CoinRepo. I'll change the package after some time, guys. It's somehow it's not allowing me to create CoinRepo outside the retrofit. So so we have the CoinRepo here. So CoinRepo is responsible for supplying all the coins to UI. So it will have a, and here we're going to use the dependency injection to get the coin service coin API. So here I will pass coin API as a parameter, as an argument to the constructor. So we'll have a constructor, so which will get private val coin API of type coin API, and then So this is going to be part of our dependency injection graph. So I'll put a inject annotation here, which is needed. This inject annotation tells to the dependency injection framework that this construct is part of the dependency graph. So whenever it sees whenever somebody asks for the object of this CoinRepo, if it resolved how to, if it knows how to create Coin API, it automatically creates the CoinRepo class. So that's how the dependency injection works. So now we will have a class, we'll have a function called uh, get coins, which will return, for now it will return a list of coins. Then we will modify it as per our UI, list of coins. So we don't have this coin object yet, we'll create that soon. So in the same, I'll move these things to out of this retrofit package. These are not supposed to be inside the retrofit, but somehow it's not allowing me to create outside the retrofit. So I'll create one more data class called coin. It'll just hold, it'll have two values, name of type string and val rate or price. Let's give rate of type double. So it's the name of the coin and this is the value of the coin in probably USD. So now that we have our data class and the CoinRepo in place, so we'll implement this CoinRepo method soon. So let's create other classes that are required for dependency injection. So I'm going to create a new package called DI. So in that, so like if you are aware of the dependency injection, so we'll have components and modules which provides the app, the I mean different components of the app, the required dependencies. So let's now create a file Kotlin class called uh, coin app component. So let's annotate this with component, Dagger component. Then this basically it should be an interface because we are not going to implement this. So let's change it to interface. So once we have this, like let's define a, let's declare a method in the interface. The method name would be, we need repo from here, so let's call it get coin repo, which returns the class coin repo from where we can get the coins. Okay, so now that we have, and we need a module because dependency injection doesn't know how to create the coin repo. So for that reason, we see basically it knows how to create the coin repo because it has the class here, but it doesn't know how to supply the coin API here. So for that, we need a module in the dependency injection framework. So let's create another class called um, repo module. So this, okay, I misspelled it. Let's rename it repo module. Okay, so let's rename it. Okay, sorry, we have the repo module here. Once we have the repo module, let's declare it as a module, Dagger's module, and then it will have a method called what Dagger needs here is all the Dagger needs how to create a coin API. So it'll have a method called coin API, get coin API, function get coin API, which returns the coin API. So this coin API, there is a standard way to create this coin API in the retrofit. So we'll create the coin API now. So in retrofit, to create the, I mean, we already have a coin API interface like, that we need to get to access the market cap APIs HTTP calls. So we just have to implement in this module how to, we just have to create the coin API here. So for that we need the HTTP client, val HTTP client is equal to okay HTTP client dot builder dot, see, we have to add some headers here for all the requests. So for that we need to have an interceptor. So we will have an interceptor here, interceptor. So the way we create the interceptor is, here we will get it returns a chain. The interceptor gets a chain, and we'll use the chain to add the headers. So chain dot so we'll get the request dot new builder, let's call it builder, and then we will create builder dot add header. Let's add the header so we know which headers to add. So one is, I mean, this header, let's add this. Okay, so and we know the key. This I mean, if you don't understand this code, it's the standard code to create the retrofit API, guys, don't worry about it. So builder dot add header, so we are adding the header, and then once the header is added, builder dot, we just have to chain dot proceed, we have to give the builder dot build, so which will return the request needed for interceptor. So basically we are like, whenever there is a request, we are just adding this header to that request and sending it to the retrofit. So we are still in the process of creating the HTTP client here. So once this is done, once we added the interceptor, we can just build it. So now we got the HTTP client, and then once we get the HTTP client, we need to create the retrofit. So for that, retrofit.builder, we have to use retrofit.builder, and then we need to set the base URL. So the base URL here is I'll copy the base URL here. So this part of the URL would be the base URL. So let me create a constant here. Base URL is equal to, and then yeah, we just need the base URL. So I've added the base URL, and then I'll add the client. Now we need to add the HTTP client that we just created. HTTP client dot now let's call the build. So now we've built the retrofit. Let's call it retrofit. So once we have the retrofit, now we need to get the Coin API. So for that, we just have to call retrofit dot create and pass in the Coin API class. Let's return this. So now we've created the repo module to which provides the Coin API. So we need to have a provides annotation here to tell the retrofit to use this method as part of its dependency injection graph. See here the symbol here shows that it's part of now dependency injection graph. Okay, so now we've created the required things for dependency injection, and then now let's okay, I forgot one more thing here, guys. So now see, as part of the creation of retrofit, we have to have one more thing called we need to add one more thing. Let me do that. Add conversion factory. So because the whatever the response that we get, we have to get that as the JSON response, and we need to convert that JSON to our Kotlin. For that, we need to use a conversion factory. So for that, JSON okay, so this is the name is JSON conversion factory. JSON conversion factory dot create. So that's all, guys. So now this is ready. The Coin API is ready. Coin API is ready, and so now let's implement the methods that are part of the repo, CoinRepo. So in the CoinRepo now supposed to return list of coins. So it has the Coin API. Now we need to get the list of coins from the coin API. For that, we will let's do one thing, because all these calls are blocking calls. So for in Kotlin we can use suspend functions whenever there is a blocking call, and the suspend functions, as you might aware, needs to be called from coroutines. So let's declare our API as a suspend function. I think this doesn't have to be a suspend function, this can be a direct function, but this needs to be a suspend function. So once we declare it as a suspend function, then we can use all the, we can call the functions which are suspended themselves. So now, so we have the coin API. Let's call coin API dot get coin data, which returns the call object. From that, if we execute the call object, it returns the uh, base. It returns the base object. Base object is nothing but the body of the response. Okay, it just returns the response from which we need to get the body, which is nothing but the base. Okay, now let's call this base. Don't need semicolon in Kotlin. So base dot, let's convert this into a list of coin objects. So now we got the base and we need to convert this into a list of coin objects. For that, we'll use base dot. So we have to make sure base is not a base is not null. For that, we use question mark, then we'll use data, or we'll use one thing, because we have to do it, we'll use a let block here. So this is base, and which is not null. So inside this let block, the base won't be null. So from it, now we can get the data, and which is an array. We need to convert that into coin, so array of coins or list of coins. So for that, we will use map. Yeah, we will use map. So to avoid the confusion, let's rename it to data. So now date, okay, so each data object, now we will map it into our coin object. So coin, which we've already created, and data dot name, and then data dot its value in USD. So I think its value is inside the USD dot price. So now for each item in the list of this data list, we will create another list with coin. That's what the map does. So at the end it returns a list of coins. So let's call it coins, but and we can return the coins here. But there is a problem if it is null. So if the base is null, if this whole code gets executed only if the base is not null. So if the base is null, we have to provide list, give it an empty list which returns the coins. So we just have to return the coins here. So that's it. So now we have everything in place to query the server to get the data. So before going into the next step, which is creation of the UI, let's test this if this works fine or not, whatever we've done so far. So for that, let's create a new unit test. Let's call it repo test. So this whole thing that we've done so far doesn't require an emulator or any Android. It's not Android specific. It's all non-Android thing. It's purely Kotlin. So we can use unit test framework. We don't need an Android test. So in the repo test, so we'll test a thing. We'll test verify server response. Let's call it verify server response. Verify server response. So okay, we need a for that to verify this we need the CoinRepo object, but CoinRepo is part of our dependency injection. So instead of directly creating an object of it, we'll request our dependency injection framework to create the object for us. So for that, this is the so we'll go to the test and then we'll call Dagger. Okay, so it's the class, the Dagger hasn't yet created the classes that are required. So we have the component and we have the module ready. So let's do one thing, let's build the project. So which will, okay, there is an error it seems. Okay guys, so the error is so this plugin com Android application now requires 11 and Java 11. So let's go and set that to Java 11. So somewhere here we should be able to set it. Editor, not the editor, should be the build system, build tools, Gradle. So let's go into Gradle and then change the Gradle JDK version to JDK 11. Work now. And let's try to build it now. We'll build the project. Let's see if this builds. There are still some errors, guys. Okay, guys. Now the build has failed with the reason it cannot find the dependency. Actually, we made a mistake. We haven't finished the dependency injection thing yet. So we've declared this as a module and we've declared this as a component, but we need to say to the component which modules it needs to create the required dependencies. So now here we will declare that. So will modules, so I think it's just a list of modules, we can give it this way, repo module. So that's all. Now it should build successfully. Okay guys, now the build is successful. So let's test the code that we've written so far. We just have to make sure that our server code is right, and then we're getting the correct response from the server. Uh, so for that, so let's go back to our test code, repo test, then verify server response. Let's declare this as a test. So if you declare it as a test, you can run it as like as an individual test case, or as part of suit. You can run this now. Now the dot create. Let's create the okay, let's call it coin component. So once we have the component, we should get the coin component dot get CoinRepo dot get coins. So you can, we want, I mean, which returns a list of coins, but we, because it's a suspending function, we cannot call that directly. So let's have a coroutine builder called run blocking. Sorry, run blocking. Let's call it inside that. Which returns a list of coins, and then let's print these coins. Print ln. See, don't worry about I mean, just remember this, guys, this is a unit test, and then we we don't need context. We are running it on JVM, so we can just print them. We are not going to use any Android related classes so far. So that's the beauty of this MVVM architecture and the dependency injection. So they don't depend on, they are not specific to Android. So let's print this coins. So let's run and see if it prints, if it downloads and prints. Okay guys, one more error. The error is in coinrepo.kt, and then okay, circulating supply. Okay, it seems there is an issue in the one of those JSON to Kotlin objects. So let's go ahead and fix that. I think this should be in the data class. So it says that expected an int. Okay, but it was okay. So let's make all these ints into doubles, because like max supply, circulating double, and then double. Let's make these doubles because they can be they, I mean, there can be a double value for these things because they are not always ints. So let's make these doubles, and then let's see if this works. Let's go to the test and then run this test. Okay, I pressed the debug, but anyway, let's okay guys, I think I pressed the wrong button there, but anyway it gave one more error. Platform expected a string, but it was a begin object. Okay, let's see where the issue is. Seems this is an issue. Platform, see, we don't need these values, so let's delete it instead of trying to fix them. So it should work now. Repo test and run that. Okay guys, good news, now the build is successful and we are able to get the coin. So which this tells us that our server side our retrofit code is working fine. We are getting the result as expected. In the next video we'll see, I'll show you how to display these coins in an activity. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next video guys. Thank you.